Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining on the in review. What is your news on this 19th of October? Believe it or not, and October, November, December, waboom, and there we are. Christmas is already around the corner. Um, I want to welcome you, and I want to thank you so much for those who are coming on, those who are on Instagram, those who are on YouTube, those who are on Facebook. And if you uh you can say hi, you can say where you're from, where your name, where your mother name. And you can also share also what is your news. In reviews, what is your news, what's your news, what is the top thing you think is the main news. And one of the reasons why I do this is because I believe that it is very important that all voices contend. It is very important that we share our views, share our thoughts, and not just leave it alone or leave it with the mainstream to act. Well, what is the mainstream now? I believe that the mainstream is you and me. I believe that the social media and everything is the mainstream, and they actually now piggyback off us or piggyback off the social media, different handles to find something new, which is poignant news which is out there, and and that's what I want to share. But also, the topic which I picked tonight was: is there still time for diplomacy in the Middle East? Is there still time for diplomacy in the Middle East? And what is so very interesting about this topic is that you may try to avoid it, but it's gonna face you full on in the face. This topic here, you cannot get away from it. It is there. People are picking sides. Some are not picking sides. Some are actually, watching, waiting, and expecting something big. You know, expecting something big that is going to happen in the world. But we are seeing the advent of different key leaders move going down there in the Middle East. We got Biden went down there. We got Rishi Sunak is going to be down there for a couple of days. James Cleverly was down there at the start of this conflict, and so one can see that diplomacy is still working. So my title is there still time for diplomacy in the Middle East? What do you think? Is there still time, or is it, or what would I say sometimes? Is it, what should I say? Is it a pipe dream? Right? Is it a pipe dream? Let me bring in Garry here. You know, hey Garry, how are you doing? If you're
I'm doing
there,
good, my friend. I'm doing,
you're good. I'm trying to sort out something here
I'm doing
at the
good.
same time.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. How was your day? How was your day down there?
Busy.
Um.
It's been busy, but it's been good. It's good.
Yeah. I was just saying. And one can look at different topics to talk about, but really and truly, the pressing and most poignant topic out there is the Middle East and what is happening down there. Um, and that is so very crucial. Everybody's waiting for something to happen. And my key question is there still time for diplomacy? You think there's time for diplomacy with Biden going down there and Rishi Sunak down there now?
I didn't. Well, I mean, I think there's always time for diplomacy. I think
Mm,
um, whatever the situation is in our world, there's always time for diplomacy.
mm,
It all depends on what is being said, what's being done during those windows of opportunity.
yeah.
You know, how is it being addressed? You
Yes.
know, as issues being done, being addressed, really, you know. So I would say, I would always say, it doesn't really matter what the situation is in our world. There will always be an opportunity for diplomacy to be
Raise
be
to raise its
carried
head.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at something earlier today, and I was looking at it whereby um like in the face of such, what should I say, deep rooted hostilities, the prospect of diplomacy uh, may seem somewhat elusive. But history has shown that even in the most dire circumstances, dialogue remains a powerful tool for change. And we have witnessed moments of ceasefire negotiated through international mediation, offering a glimmer of hope for peace. While the road to resolution is riddled with obstacles, it's essential to remember that diplomacy is not a quick fix, but a gradual process that requires patience, perseverance, and the willingness to find common ground. Before I go into um, the Middle East, and also with the trip of Biden and the trip of Rishi Sunak down there and different persons, there's something which I see, and I don't know if persons can see it as well. There's something which I see out there now is, and I said it last week, and I know many people fear to thread, or many people fear to go that route, but there is this um, fighting or discussing which is going on social media, and also the the rhetorics this side and that side. People are wanting to take sides in this whole conflict. People are being cancelled in some respect, depending on which side that you're on. Um, is it wise to take sides? I mean, I'm not showing this one out. Is it wise to take sides in this situation? People wanting to take a side, take a view. You know, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? I throw that one out. Is it wise to take a side? Cello Belly TV. It's something echoes. What is echoing? Gary, are you echoing? Speak, Gary.
I haven't been saying anything for anything to echo.
Okay, well, I don't know. Cello Belly, it echoes. I'm not hearing any echo or so. I'm not hearing any echo from my side. Anybody hearing any echo? Um, yeah, yeah. Do you think it is wise? It is in a time like this, taking sides. We've seen Biden down there, Rishi Sunak down there, and persons fear to take sides or fear to want to venture into this particular topic. Gary, sorry.
If it's wise to take sides, it depends on
Yes.
what it is.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is. And I don't think anybody should be afraid to voice their opinion. Voicing your opinion
Mm.
does not necessarily mean that you're taking a side. You are voicing one's opinion. Now,
Yeah.
the way how the world is going on these days is that there isn't the freedom of speech is not cannot really be exercised, because the moment you open your mouth to say something, and
Mm.
even if it's not in a view of taking a side, you're just offering your opinion, then people just automatically accept that you're choosing one particular side. So you shouldn't be afraid. Even if you took a side, you shouldn't be afraid to take a side.
Yes.
But you see,
Yes. Yes.
diplomacy has become so warped these days that the moment that you do begin to voice your opinion, then as a diplomat,
Yeah.
it's straight away misconstrued, and a hole is digged for you to jump in, and then you can hardly get out once you fall in it. You know,
I I'm hearing maybe what Chillabella TV is saying. I'm hearing a slight echo there, Gary. I don't know if it is coming like from your side or so. When you're speaking, I hear an echo. But anyway, let's do the conversation. Um, there was this big incident which happened over there whereby this um hospital was bombed, and there's over 400 persons got killed. And what you're seeing is Israel saying that it is not them. Hamas say it is not them. Israel is saying that it was the launch of a Hamas rocket, which did not finish its course and landed there. Hamas is saying that there, and and I believe that I, it's so difficult sometimes to say anything on this without knowing it, knowing the facts are being so much involved and so much in tune with exactly what is happening. Because if you're someone who is a supporter of the Palestine cause and deeply supported and anti-Israel, then you're going to actually say it is the Israelite. If someone is fully in support of the Israelite cause and anti-Hamas, they're going to say it is Hamas. And therefore, this middle ground sometimes is not there, as what Biden said. As what Biden said. Well, Biden came out and said it's all the guys. I mean, I believe it's a bit too quick, you know. But what should we take on these sort of things? Um, because you're gonna have it, war crimes.
Whenever there's war, there is always a risk of mistakes being made. Now, it has been
Call it
reported,
collateral. Yeah. Mm.
collateral damages. It has been
Yes.
reported that the missile
Mm.
that hit the hospital was a failed missile strike from the Palestinians. That is what has been um, reported. That has what, but the media is not reporting that. But it
Mm.
has been said, it has been reported. I've heard it said that the missile which was fired came from the Palestinian, um, and it misfired and it fell on the hospital.
Wow.
Now, now it's a known fact that Hamas, they will tell lies. Everybody knows that. I don't think anybody really has to breathe heavily or whisper underneath their breath to say that Hamas tell lies. Everybody
Yeah.
tells lies, but Hamas, Hamas to some extent, they do give or mislead and give a lot of misleading reports. So
Mm.
investigation has to be done. Investigations have to be done, and when the findings are substantiated,
Realize.
then
Yeah.
they should report these things.
Yeah.
They should report.
Yeah. Milverton Hyde. You're on Facebook. I put a link below for you to go onto the YouTube channel. It's a bit much more better because your comments somehow for some reason are not coming up as well. It Biden went down there, and Rishi Sunak went down there. The whole art of diplomacy, which is something which is relevant. And last week I mentioned about the diplomacy and working of diplomatic persons there. I believe that with the advent of Biden going down there and Rishi Sunak, they're opening up these areas, these passage, these corridors, whereby Hamas can go to. And I think it is so crucial at this time. There's a video I saw, and I can't play it, of course, and it talks about eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. How do you deal with proportionality at this time? Um, because if you remember the Northern Ireland bit with Sinn Féin was that Sinn Féin was a bit like Hamas, isn't it? Hamas is like that fighting arm. Sinn Féin was that fighting arm, and then you got you got the political arm as well at the same time, and many persons might not want to work with them, but eventually there's got to be some sort of peaceful arrangement. But I know that the Bible clearly speaks about, and a lot of Christians clearly speak about praying for Jerusalem, praying for peace in that area. So right now, I believe that lots of people are praying, and when they're praying for all these people so they can have a something can happen along the way to preserve people. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is a truth.
there's a lot of praying going on. I mean, there's a lot
Yeah.
of praying that's going on. But at the same time, we need to pray for God's will to be done. I mean, we
Mm.
can't. We can always pray for an end of war, and I think we should pray for an end of suffering. Pray for the end of misplacement and such. Yes, yes. I would never tell anybody not to pray for these things. But we should also pray that the God's will be done. That's important. That's very important that we pray for the will of God to be done. Now, everything that is happening down in the Middle East there, Sylbourne, to some extent,
Yeah.
is just, to me, it's just making a preparation for what next is going to happen, for what next major thing is going to happen in our world, which the
Mm.
world is going to get ready for the man of sin to make his appearance religiously. That's what
Yeah.
I would say. Others probably wouldn't say that. Others don't think in terms of that. Others don't think in terms of religion at all.
Yes.
That's not in their equation at all.
Mm.
But for me and for those who are Christians and those who know the Bible, the to me um the next best um um or I would
Move.
say the best, the next major thing to happen in our world, really, I would have thought, is for the man of sin to make his appearance. Really, there's a few other things that may have to take place, but that's a major, major, major event where the man of sin, the lawless one, will come in and will do what he needs to do.
Yeah. Good evening, Michelle. So what we see, and Michelle, I'm going to ask you if you can hear an echo. Just let me know if you can hear an echo. I hear some echo at some different point. So what we are seeing, in a sense, ladies and gentlemen, and Gary, is like the word, or the Bible is sort of unfolding before us, right before our very eyes. This is what is happening. It is deemed like early in the early years ago, hundreds of years ago, AD and BC. You know, people are living in this period which is called the Bible era. Is it now that we're in this other Bible era as well, whereby we're seeing it unfolding before our very eyes? You know, that is from a spiritual sense, because many people are seeing things from thank you, Michelle. Many people are seeing some from a physical sense, but is there this massive spiritual being which is happening? This, at this juncture, at this point now, all eyes are set on the Middle East. No eyes are on people, or like we kept saying, keep the focus. All eyes are on me in Israel. Bible unfolding before
Yeah,
our
I mean,
eyes.
um, I still believe that we are living in Bible times.
Yeah.
I still believe we are living in Bible times. We have never left the Bible times.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything that I believe that yes, even though we're living in a very, very technological age, we are technologically advanced, more advanced today than we've ever been. And even in the days of Christ, the days of the apostles, even in the days um,
Yeah.
of the prophets and such, all the way through, we have never left Bible times. We are
Mm.
always within. We just need, to tell you the truth, I believe we just need to know where we are, um, in accordance to Scripture.
Mm.
I really believe that. I think we need to not and I wish I knew. I wish I could pinpoint in the Scriptures. The only place I can say where we may be stillborn is when the Bible talks about there shall be wars and rumors of wars and famines and pestilence and all of these things.
Earthquakes and
You
everything.
know, and earthquakes, yes, in diverse places. So I think I could say this is where we are. That is where we may be or we are. But in for other things, I don't know. I don't know.
If when one looks at the okay, let's look at the diplomatic work of the whole thing and Biden going into the Middle East, and what they're saying is also even before the Al Ahli hospital in Gaza was destroyed, Joe Biden's full-throated support for Israel had convinced Palestinians and millions of other Arabs that the United States was more than simply Israel's most important supporter. They believed the Americans were also complicit in everything Israel was doing in Gaza, including, of course, killing the children. And the bitter dispute over who was responsible for attacks will not change many minds. 12 days of war have ramped up hatred, and division. You see, one of the things that people are actually saying now, Gary, is that, and let us take our minds and go back into a memory lane just over a year ago. I think it was over a year now. We had Russia and Ukraine. And ladies and gentlemen, just picture Russia and Ukraine. And then after Russia invaded Ukraine for a bit, and the people had nowhere to go, where did they go? Who offered them? The West offered them to come. The olive branches. Now the big question many are asking now is that is the West willing to take in people from Gaza at this time, bring them into the UK? Is that a fair um, request? As some people are actually saying that should be the case now. It's a similar thing. It's a similar thing, Gary. You have innocent people who are actually being, you know, killed and has to leave their home. Should the 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 West start opening up their arms and offering people to give up their homes to people from Gaza, just like with Ukraine?
Listen, now now listen to this. I don't know if
Yeah.
you heard this, but up until today, I believe,
Mm.
and it's only for the for aid to go to leave Egypt, go across
Yeah.
the Rafah gate to go into Gaza. Not even Egypt or Jordan wants any of the
Mm.
refugees to leave there, the Palestinians to leave Gaza to go into their countries. Why? Because they're
Yeah.
afraid that Hamas may enter with them. Now,
Yeah.
now what we've got to be very careful is, and I know that, and there's some cry. I don't know if anybody, even Michelle or those who are in the United States there that's listening right now. But I'm sure you've even heard where the president has said that I think they're opening the doors for some Palestinian refugees to leave there to go into America.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, there's those in America who
Yeah.
are beginning, let's say, to bang the drums, to ring the bells, to do whatever to say, be careful because you may just be letting in Hamas to come in and later on even cause havoc in the United States. And these are the very same things that the president of Egypt and the president of Jordan are
Yeah.
running from because they know exactly that by opening the borders, it's not Israel that is stopping the refugees or the
Mm.
Palestinians from leaving Gaza to go into Egypt. It is
Mm.
not you, it's not Israel. It's the Egyptian government that is hindering the process by allowing the Palestinians, the refugees, to go um, um,
Mm.
into Egypt. So
Yeah.
you see, there is fear, and I think it would be there has to be a very rigorous program, um, and the term eludes me, but there has to be a rigorous program to infiltrate and to separate refugees from Hamas. I don't know how they're going to do that, really.
Yes.
But at this moment in time, I wouldn't even suggest that Rishi opens the door for refugees to come into this country, because if they do, we're going to be letting in Hamas, and Hamas is going to wreak havoc if they come here.
So just like what Jeremy Bowen, what he said is that uh, that millions of other Arab that the United States are more than simply Israel's most important supporter. The bitter dispute over who was responsible for the attack will not change many minds. Won't change many minds, and as a result of that, there's going to be lots of people angry. I never forget this movie that I watched, Once Upon a Time in the West. Henry Fonda, Charles Bronson, and when Henry Fonda, well, when Henry Fonda went and they went and killed a family because they wanted that land, a little boy was left. A little boy was left, and the little boy ran out. And then one of the guys said, "What are we gonna do with this one, Frank?" And then, with the country and western guys, and what they did, he normally spit and spit on the ground and said, "Now you call me by my name." And you know what he had to do? He had to kill the boy, because of course they killed the family, so that boy had to die, and they killed the boy. You know what I mean? And of course, the show proved also that Charles Bronson was a young boy when they killed his brother. He waited until he just waited till the time to kill um, Henry Fonda, who is called Frank. So the point about it is that these guys will wait years and years and years to wreak havoc upon the West, to wreak havoc upon Israel, based on what is going on. And that is one of the crises which is over there. Somebody said diplomacy is the art, the science, and the means by which nation groups or individuals conduct over their affairs in ways to safeguard their interests, promote their political, economic, cultural, or scientific relations. Um, you know, that's what I also say. Um, Not inviting person on the Instagram, but only on the YouTube channel. You can go onto the YouTube channel and one can get an invite to talk about it. Um, yeah. So what is this? Um, Michelle said that America plays a part in all of this. Well, when you look at it, and people say 1948 Israel started, and that is because of the way how it was split up into different pieces, just like how Pakistan and India, and of course, who was the architect of that? Britain. You know, but that's not where Israel started. Many people say that's where Israel started, and that's where they got the land.
Mm.
So it is a deep thinking there. Um, a 72-year-old man stabbed a 6-year-old boy because the boy was a Palestinian. When was that, and where was that, Michelle? He stabbed the boy 26 times. Wow. Where was that? And was that in America? Um, yeah. I mean, in Stamford Hill, in the UK, just up the road there, London, there are actually protection for the area, because lots of Jews live there. You know,
Mm.
when one goes through the underground, one have to sort of look twice or so, because it's like there's a expectation that something is going to happen. You know, I know it's on TikTok. There's nothing going on TikTok here. You know why? Because the topic is so toxic. It's like they just shut it down, Gary. Is what I'm trying to say. Maybe I need to stop it and
Mm.
change it. If I change the topic and say, um, let's dance to drift or something like that, I'm sure I'm going to do a test. I'm going to shut it down and put a different topic on it and see, because the topic which I put on it, it's dead. On TikTok, it's dead because nobody wants to touch this sort of topic, Gary. Nobody. And that's why we were talking one time about a topic. We're talking about God and government, whereby one can look at some of these issues and have these discussions, but people fear to thread these areas. You know.
Well, that's the world in which we live. I mean,
Yeah.
there are things, there are certain areas that people don't want to.
Yeah.
They have a lot to say, but they don't want to say anything, because by saying what they say, it's going to show as if they are in agreement, or they support the idea, or they support whatever they, and that's not the case at all.
Mm.
That's why freedom of speech is dead. Freedom of speech is dead, because for an individual to voice their concerns, to voice an opinion, to voice whatever they want to, it will be misconstrued, and for some, their life will be over, because
Mm.
people, you know,
You see,
it's sad, but that's the case. That's reality.
in the whole aspect of diplomacy, you see, for years, the Middle East has been marked by cycles of violence and ceasefires, which have often give way to renewed conflict. Or the fact that we're still discussing diplomacy is a testament to the belief that dialogue remains a viable path towards a more stable and harmonious region. The International Community Humanitarian Organization, peacemakers from various continue to work tirelessly to bring the parties to the negotiation table, exemplifying the unwavering hope that a lasting solution can be found. But it has been said, and it's been said here, no matter what they do, that's not going to happen, because it is the world and the Bible coming alive. There's got to be this
Right.
war. Yeah. Garry, I told you what I did a while ago. I changed the topic on TikTok, and see it's now coming alive. I, I,
What did
I,
you
I,
change?
I removed the topic. I had a topic on TikTok saying diplomacy in the Middle East or something of that nature, and it just shut down. And as I just moved it and said, "What's your news?" It has changed, because there's a high level of suppression which is happening. See, TikTok is just going fast now. But I had it and it was on zero since I started because of the topic area. What is it saying? What is it saying, ladies and gentlemen? People are not able to have dialogue, have discussions objectively. I mean, just say you got to move. Like, everybody needs to create their own platforms in a way.
Mm.
What's your platform, Garry? What's your platform, Michelle? Yeah, and one cannot afford to miss out on some of the key thing which has been happening. You know, we you know, one of the things that I one of the things I do not know is this. You all right, Garry? Is that your? Yeah, one of the things I do not know is this. Is that shopping Peckham clothes? One of the things I do not know is this. What happened to that girl who was arrested? You know, one of the things I do not know is, like, this is Black History Month. You know, what's going on
Uh,
with Black history? You know what I'm saying? One of the things I do not know is that if there was some sort of concerted effort in a way to look at the whole issues regarding the boy who got killed, and more about the girl, and also what is happening to that particular case. It's like this quietness in those areas. You know, somebody said, "Can I get on an invite?" Oh yes, you can get on to your invite. Let me send you the link. Yeah, Garry, you're saying, yeah. What other in the news? I mean, there's more things in the news. Not just Israel. What else going on in the news there? What's happening? What is Rishi Sunak doing? What there's supposed to be an election coming up tomorrow. My good friend is running in one of the elections, two of the conservative seats. Yeah,
where?
Tamworth and Bedfordshire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
um,
I haven't really. I mean, I think that the war in the Middle East has
overshadowed
really
everything.
overshadowed all other news. Even the war in Ukraine is in its shadow.
Oh, well, yeah. Funnily, Somebody was asking me if the war is finished in Ukraine.
That don't start yet.
The war in Ukraine don't start yet.
No.
Yeah, somebody was asking me what happened to it. Is it still happening in Ukraine? Because there's just a silence in that region, you know.
It's very silent. It's extremely silent, really.
Cello Bello, I think I send the link there. You can just click on that link there and find that link to find your way home or so. Listen, there's the new High Commission is here, you know, the new High Commission, the new Jamaica High Commission. He's here in the UK now. He was at his first event yesterday. So that's news. I mean, let's everybody's trying to unpick news. Let's find unpicking news, you know. You know.
Really, can you expedite the process to get good and fast passports?
Well, maybe that should be his first challenge, if anything like that. A lot of people are asking about. I got people still emailing me about their passport from that long time ago. 2 years now. You know, people are getting it. Still. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to see if Chilla Bella was trying to find something here. Um, there's also the other issue in America which I was looking at the other day regarding the Speaker of the House. They've been desperately trying to find a Speaker of the House as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean I don't know what's going to happen there, but the American government is in disarray where that is concerned.
Well, it's unfortunate that you have a government in America now which doesn't seem to be very what should I say, on top of it. I mean, I was watching Biden when he was meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, and one of the things which was very interesting was that, and I don't know if the camera picked it up, but he had some cue card in his hands, and they were big. The words were big, Gary. You know what I'm trying to say? There's some big words in it, like, and at one point he started to go off track and said, "I remember years ago, blah blah blah," and he started this thing, and then he said, "Anyway, forget that because that's not what I'm talking about." It was like he was trying to bring a story, because it's always good to bring a story, and then I think he somewhat lost it and didn't know what to say, or you know, and he just go back to it, and it was a bit embarrassing at the same time, you know. But I believe that somehow, I believe that Rishi Sunak maybe can make a difference. I believe it's very important for politicians to get involved. There's a video which is going around with Andrew Holness, and I don't know how people don't read, people don't sort of verify and vet and check. There's a video of Andrew Holness when he went to Israel. I think it was 2017 or so, and that video is going around to say that he just went down there, you know, and he's giving his support to Israel, you know. But it was 2017, and when people send it to me, I always say to them, guys, don't you really watch and look and read properly before you go and share it? Of course, people send it to me, say they are vetting it, but sometimes they send it to me without knowing that I got it, and I respond to them and say, you know, this is crazy. Ron Paul just came out and told Sleepy Joe America is in enough debt and it's time to stop funding Ukraine because he needs to start taking care of home. Who is Ron Paul again? Who is Ron Paul again? Michelle. You know, I mean,
isn't he a Republican senator?
Yeah. America at this point, I don't. I think America was shut down. I don't know if for a couple of weeks. They were shut down for a couple of weeks or so. and I think that's when McCarthy got kicked out for some reason. But they were shut down, and they were shut down because of they needed funding. I think for a couple of weeks or so. I don't know. It goes over. And really and truly, America need to spend some time to somehow get their house in order. People are also
Mm.
criticizing Rishi Sunak to say that with the advent of the ink, things are sort of teething over in the UK now. I mean, I still see the prices of petrol still going up as much as possible, but it's not as bad as how it was before. Um, so therefore, while it's important for them to spend time, I still think it is very crucial for persons like Biden, for persons like uh, Trump, not Trump, getting over there into the wall, getting into the thick of things and dealing with um, the Middle East. Because he said, let's not be naive. The challenges are immense and the wounds are deep. And that is so correct. That the wounds which are going on in the Middle East is deep, so deep, and require courage, vision, and commitment to finding common ground. This happened with the Middle East Treaty, which was formed some years ago with when Yasser Arafat was there. This was also with um, the Good Friday Agreement as well, Northern Ireland. That was because while the fighting was going on, there was also diplomatic wrangling which is going on. And the question of whether there's still time for diplomacy in the Middle East remains unanswered, and the road ahead is uncertain. The task today is to engage in a thoughtful exploration of this issue, to understand the complexities and the potential path forward. You know, and there have been demonstrations in London in regards to it in London as well. You know, so 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 Gary's gone, but I think Gary's phone is going on crazy or something like that. But that's my view really. That the whole art of diplomacy, I believe, still should play a fundamental part. Let me see if Gary's back. Did I must let you out or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It just
Yeah,
seems that
yeah,
my feed just went.
yes. You know. So anyway, so that's how I see how things are flowing. The whole art of diplomacy must sort of raise its head and do some work in the Middle East. But at the same time, there is work for people to do as well. You know what I say? Life,
Mm.
I say life goes on. Yeah, life life goes on as well. All right.
Yeah, life goes on. Life goes on. Things continue to turn. Diplomacy, you see, diplomacy is always on the go, even
Mm,
when we don't think anything is happening. Diplomatic negotiations and movements are always being made, really, always being done, even amongst friendly countries. So, diplomacy in the Middle East must be ongoing. It has to
mm,
continue, and especially when you're having to deal with sections such as with Hamas and Hezbollah, and the various other factions that's down there. Because these are two main factions, yes, but there are so many others that we're not told about. You know,
mm.
so that's important. That's important.
There's a well, let's switch something a bit. There's a boy. There's a boy with a water pistol. Let me just take this off. There's a
Where,
boy with a
where,
water in the UK here. There's a boy with a water pistol, and he was confronted by armed police. The mother of a black 13-year-old boy says she feels betrayed after he was surrounded by armed police. Yeah, when his water pistol was mistaken for a gun, and the boy was handcuffed and confronted by marksmen in Hackney, and this was in July. Yeah. The mother says she's extremely angry, and the incident has been a deeply traumatic experience. Met police saying that the boy was having a water fight with his siblings on 19th of July when a police officer on a patrol reported a potential firearm incident. Yeah, yeah. So, so that's the thing there. So the boy was having a water fight with his sibling on 19th of July. A police van then rammed child X off his bicycle. They like ramming people in. The same thing happened with the gentleman there who got shot, Chris. The APA said knocking him to the ground before he was surrounded by armed police officers who pointed their firearms at him and arrested him on suspicion of being in possession of a firearm. He was de-arrested at the scene soon afterwards, it said. One of the water pistols being played with was blue and white, and one was pink and white, and unmistakable toys, it added. Well, you can't blame the police officer, Gary, because they don't use guns, innit? You know, police officers don't use gun in the UK, so they don't have any idea what is a gun. Maybe that's the reason why.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say so. They have policemen on the streets already. I mean, I think it's misleading to say that policemen don't carry guns. They do. It's just that we just don't see it.
She was shocked,
So
and the mother added that after contacting her MP, she was met by the borough's police commander for her to view the officer's body-worn camera footage. So painful and traumatic to see what they did to my son. Internal investigation is taking place. See, now's the time that there's a lot of news that lady said one time during Tony Blair, when Tony Blair was the prime minister, when September 11 took place, they said it was the time to bury bad news. Now is the time to bury news. So you're going to find lots of news coming through, a lot of things happening that we will sort of keep our eyes off and not aware of it, because everyone is in this conflict. Because the conflict is not just in the Middle East. The conflict, as the ministers were saying, it's on social media. People are fighting each other because of their views. And therefore, if you go on TikTok or go on some toxic site, you'll see, long live XYZ, long live XYZ. And then if somebody says something, they start to go at it. Armchair. So one will have to people have to keep their mind high above all things, and to somewhat try to coexist at this time. That's really crucial. Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
yeah. So anyhow, we just wish all the best. I didn't see Cello Bella. I think he was trying to come on. We wish all the best, and definitely I've got a video which I done with Minister Ed Bartlett talking about Jamaica, the transformation of Jamaica tourism. That is something very interesting. In Jamaica recently as well, just a new news as well. A lot of Haitians turned up again in Jamaica, and I believe that they keep sending them back for some reason or so, back to Haiti. And I know a lot of people, civil organizations have been demonstrating in regards to that as well. So that is something which is happening over there in Jamaica. And the big news, of course, in Jamaica has been what has been happening regarding the killing of the mother and her 8-month-old child, who is the daughter of Philip Paulwell, Member of Parliament. And what is coming out is very disturbing, the whole aspect of how it went about. But this, of course, is coming from the side of the DPP, Director of Public Prosecution. The lawyer who is involved and the lawyer who's representing Miss Leota Bradshaw, she's actually saying they're saying too much as well, and she needed her time in court. So it is very disturbing, and it's like a movie, like like a
What's
drama
been? I
movie.
mean, I haven't heard much about that. I mean, what's going on with that, Sylbourne?
Well, as
Can
I
you?
just said a while ago, they have arrested the lady. Police have arrested the lady, and they have traced the steps, because what I got to understand is that um, her cousin was involved. Her cousin was hired. Two other person was hired, and I believe the person who killed was also going to be killed again. So therefore, he realized that they were trying to get him out as well. So it's like the person who actually done the killing, apparently the person who hired him to do the killing hired somebody else to get him out, to shut him up or something like that. So, but this is all speculation, and this is all everybody talking about it, and what the police are actually saying. But time will tell. But the the, the damning thing is that while we're looking at the Middle East and the killing down there blatantly, it is very sad when a man or a woman can organize or orchestrate the killing of an 8-month old child or 10-month old child and the mother, no matter what, shooting them, killing them, you know.
Mm,
And this is why I talk about the whole art of, negotiation, the whole art of, you know, resolution, trying to find resolution, because whenever there is no resolution, whenever people can't find a solution, what they tend to do, they want to kill each other. They want to get the person out, you know, and they go for the raucous way. And that is very sad, you know. But irrespective, still, there's still positive things going on throughout the people's life, you know. Yeah. All right.
mm.
All right, Gary.
So
Well, listen. Yeah. Sorry.
is Paul well involved, or he's not, or he's out of it?
No. Well, as for the record, no. But I, I, I'm just reporting what is being said. Some people say what things. So many things are being said, but there, there's there's no evidence, and it's not for me to say repeat some of those. There are a lot of irresponsible comments which are out there at the same time, and we got to be very
Uh-huh.
responsible. I do recall my interview, which I'm going to
Yeah.
release with Ed Bartlett. I said to him, "What do you do when all these news come out and these fake news come out and these lies?" He said, "They've got to deal with them one by one, because lots of people will see this news and take it as if to say that is all what Jamaica is about. But that's not all what Jamaica is about.
Sure, sure,
Yeah, I've got to put things in the proper
so true.
perspective. Yes, yes. All right,
Mm, mm.
Gary. Listen, I'm gonna let you be. You can get your sleep.
All right, my brother. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You take care, man.
Take care, man. Okay. Take care, Gary. Cheers.
Bless you.
Take care. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight, and for those on TikTok. TikTok has come alive. It's very interesting. TikTok, I must say that depending on the topic that you put, if you put anything regarding the conflict, they just shut it down or just be very quiet. And so not much discussion was coming from there, because it is something which is so toxic. But it is still very important that we are alive to what is happening around the world, and alive to the fact that different media houses will be telling you things or sharing things. But what one has to do is also to research for yourself. When you see a video going around, like the one with the Prime Minister of Jamaica saying that he was in Israel of recent days. That's a lie. That's a fake news because he wasn't there. That was from 2017. But people are sharing it around. It come to me so many different times. Did you know this? Come on, man. What is he doing down there? Even though some people are saying that he shouldn't say anything because Jamaica too small. We don't want them to actually sending anything into Jamaica at this time. Yeah. So yeah. So we got to be. One thing I always talk about. We got to be so responsible with information, and not to be so keen in actually being the first. Everybody want to be the first. I want to pass my condolences to the family of Pingwing, a comedian in the UK who passed away. Rest in peace, Pingwing. When Pingwing used to give his joke, he always say, "Oh boy," that's his joke. He passed away. He was blind. He became blind a couple of years ago, and so may rest in peace as well. And my condolences to the family as well. The new High Commissioner for the UK from Jamaica for towards the UK from Jamaica is now installed and is in place, and so he started his tour for the UK, and so there's a new High Commissioner for now for the UK as well. A few of them has been appointed in different countries, and of course I'll be looking forward to sit down and have an interview with them, which I mostly do with all the different High Commissioners. Get an interview with them when they start, and then get an interview with them when they go, touch wood, all being well as well. So have a good night. May God bless you and keep you, and stay safe, and peace out. And God bless you. Remember to like and subscribe. And for those on different platforms, much appreciated. And God bless you. Okay? Peace out. Let's go.